Turkey Day is right around the corner. That means it's time to eat some good food and drink some good whiskey with some people you love. I'm super excited for it. Today we're going to be talking about 5 bird-themed bourbons you should be bringing to your Thanksgiving dinner. Let's go. How's everyone doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbinsane. I woke up this morning here in Michigan, and guess what? There was snow on the ground. First snow of the year, and I thought to myself, man, we are really in it now. It's fall time, winter time. The type of whiskey I reach for usually changes. You know, I'll move from some of the lighter stuff in the summer. Not always lighter. Sometimes I like the dark stuff and the heavy stuff, but into the darker, spice stuff, that kind of thing. So I thought this would be a fun video today, just with Thanksgiving around the corner, to talk about my whiskeys that I think it'd be a good idea to bring to your Thanksgiving dinner, or just stuff that I like to pair with certain foods. You know, a couple months back I put out a written review actually of the best whiskeys or bourbons to pair with barbecue. Obviously barbecue and whiskey go hand in hand. There's so many nuances you can put with those flavor profiles. With this one, I just want to stick to the bird theme, give you a couple of my favorite bird themed bourbons, so it'll be a lot of fun today. If you haven't yet, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what is that whiskey or bourbon that you're bringing to your family get together coming up on Thanksgiving. Let's get right into number 5 today. Coming in at number 5 today is actually going to be a bottom shelf option, but you know what? I think this is one of the better bottom shelves out there. Old Crow. Of course, we got Crow, our first of the bird theme, and this is literally like a $10 to $15 bottle for a fifth. And it's a Jim Beam mash bill. You know, Jim Beam, the 78% corn, 13 rye, 12% malted barley. Of the bottom shelf options, like the bottom shelf, I'm not talking like mid shelf, bottom shelf, below, you know, the old Granddads and Evan Williams Bottle Bond, all that. This is probably the best option you can find. Like if you're looking for something $10 to $15, I don't think there's a better option out there. The handles are like $25. So it's crazy value. It does hold true to the Jim Beam flavor profile, I think. It is only 80 proof, you know, but what do you really expect at that price point? They say ages about 3 years. So this isn't going to be a whiskey that you're going to, you know, give to your friends and be like, hey, try this amazing bourbon. You know, this is something very bottom shelf, very, very entry level. Super easy sipper, super easy to drink, but it's not really off-putting to the point where I'm never picking that up again. And I've definitely had some bottom shelf stuff like that. Coming in at number 4 is actually a craft company, and one of my favorite, or starting to become one of my favorites out there. Chicken Cock Whiskey. Now, we all know on our Thanksgiving dinner we're going to have at least one chicken cock. That'll be on the table. But I think everyone should have at least another chicken cock for us to drink too. There are multiple different expressions of this that I really enjoy. This specifically here is the Righteous Blonde, which they actually take their rye whiskey and finish it in blonde ale barrels. And it actually works really well. It really does. Beer finished things are very hit or miss for me. I've had several over the years that I'm just not a fan of. It doesn't work. But they really did the right amount of time with this. And it gives you just those nice fruity notes. It's a lot more tropical, fruity than you get out of your typical rye whiskey. And that's because of the aging in the beer barrels. If you're a fan of beer finishes, this is definitely going to be a good option for you. Given that this is already beer finished, I like to have a beer or two with my Thanksgiving dinner. So it kind of goes hand in hand, the beer whiskey with the beer. But not only this, Chicken Cock has a bunch of other expressions too. Their bourbon's very solid. Just their regular base rye too is one of my ryes I like also. You know, it's very, very good. So if you guys have had this before, let me know. Like I said, I think this is their sweet spot in their lineup. I really do enjoy the Righteous Blonde. But I want to hear from you if you guys like Chicken Cock or if you've had it before. Coming in at number 3, we're going to stay in that same craft company wheelhouse. And for me, this is actually a company I was recently introduced to. I didn't know anything about them beforehand. But Buzzard's Roost. Buzzard. It's hard to get all turkey themes, okay? Like all exact turkey. We gotta branch out in our chickens a little bit. So our flight family, that's what we're doing. We're doing Buzzard's Roost. Now, again, this company is a craft whiskey company. not super old, not super old, but they're starting to really branch out in their expressions. They've actually won some Whiskey of the Year awards. I think you can taste a lot about a blending company or just a craft whiskey company in general by how their young expressions taste. If you can just tell if that mash bill or what they're trying to do is working, if it's cohesive at all. My favorite of the Buzzard's Roost that I have had is the double oaked. I think it is very good and can be put up there with some of the other double oaks on the market. I was quite a fan of it. I probably don't like it as much as I do the Woodford double oak, but again, I'm thinking the Woodford double oak has much more age than the Buzzard's Roost does. But as far as craft companies go, I think they're doing the right thing the right way, and you can tell by the flavor profile that comes through. If you guys haven't had Buzzard's Roost yet, I would recommend picking up a bottle. And like I said, specifically the double oaked is what I enjoy. If you can find that, pick yourself a bottle that's not super unaffordable. Some craft whiskey is extremely expensive. But if you're looking for something to share with your relatives, your new drinkers at your Thanksgiving dinner, this would be something to introduce them to because it's super easy sipping and it's got a really good flavor profile. Coming in at number 2, we're starting to move into some of my favorite birds on the market. And this one, Eagle Rare. See what I did there? So, of course, Eagle Rare goes without saying. I mean, do I have to say much about this to anyone? Anyone in the bourbon world or even starting into the bourbon world has probably seen Eagle Rare before or heard of it or heard of Buffalo Trace for sure. No question. I've always enjoyed this bottle. Scarcity or not, I understand the allocation, the issues with it. It's really good. I mean, 10 years, pretty much single barrel bourbon, and still $50. I mean, that's hard to find in this day and market, and it's hard to find in this market. So that's the problem with it. This is one that I will always share with new whiskey drinkers or people that come to my house that aren't really bourbon drinkers yet, but they want to get introduced into what bourbon is. We'll start them with something a little younger, and then I'll pull out Eagle Rare, and I'll say, hey, now try this 10 year, see what you think of this. So I've always been a fan of Eagle Rare, I really have. Back when I first started, it was everywhere in Michigan. I could walk anywhere and pick up any bottle I wanted to of this without a problem. Not the case anymore, but I'll tell you what, if I still see it and I don't have some on the shelf at the moment, I do, of course, but I will pick it up again, as long as people aren't trying to charge me secondary prices or high margins, like some places are starting to do this day, even on this kind of stuff, so it's ridiculous. But classic Buffalo Trace, classic sweetness, and a little bit of age in oak too, that introduces them into some higher age whiskey profile. Coming in at number 1 today, of course, I don't even have to say what this is going to be, right? Wild Turkey. We're going to have a Wild Turkey on the table. I'm going to have a Wild Turkey in my glass, no question. I love this distillery. This specifically is the 101 8-year. It's kind of my new sweet spot as far as that proof goes with what Wild Turkey's doing. But they've got so many different expressions, and I really haven't had a bad one. Normal 101, this, Russell's Reserve 10-year, the Russell's Reserve single barrels. They've got new Rickhouse Selects now on the rye. I mean, there's so many different things. Of course, the rare breeds. So, Wild Turkey is an absolute must at your Thanksgiving dinner that's upcoming. Oh, it's a must. I mean, it's literally got turkey in the name, so we can't go wrong with that. But beyond that, the flavor profile is just wonderful. Those of you that have watched the channel now, I'm a Wild Turkey fanboy. It's my distillery. That's my go-to flavor profile for just about everything when I'm looking for a bourbon to drink at the end of the night. So even for new whiskey drinkers though, their entry-level stuff has got a nice cinnamon cherry sweetness and works really, really well with introducing someone to those flavor profiles. A little bit more spice than you'll get in, say, your Buffalo Trace, which is all sweetness, but that's okay. When I drink whiskey, I like to give my palate a little punch, more than normal. So to me, I really appreciate that. And as mentioned, with any Wild Turkey on the market, you really, really can't go wrong. Okay, well, these were just a few of my favorite whiskeys that I'm planning to drink on Thanksgiving. I want to hear what you are too. What's your go-to turkey and bourbon drink? Do you have something you like to drink at Thanksgiving or even just bring with you to share with people? A lot of times at these type of events, Christmas, Thanksgiving, these family get-togethers that we go to a couple times a year, that's the time I'll bring something that I know other people might try or be willing to branch out to and try. It doesn't happen always, but I have it there because I enjoy it, and I also have it because it's fun to just have a conversation, even with family, friends. You know, get those conversations started, grow those relationships, and maybe give them something good to try at the same time. So, thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you watching this video. If you haven't yet, please do check out my Patreon page, bourbonsane.com. A lot of cool stuff going on over there. We got behind the scenes looks. You can get some awesome merchandise, early access videos, all that kind of good stuff. So, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Stay insane.